So with the herbal eye wash, if you want to use some colloidal silver, you can put colloidal silver in the eyes. I would look this up. I would be okay with it before you do that. Again, some people are for it, some people are against it. I found that it's very useful. And so what I would do is I would probably use a 10 ppm, and I would put half of this is the distilled water and half of this is the colloidal silver. And then you have antibiotic, and the antibiotic's even stronger, and it tends to get rid of even harsher infections, kind of like the one my son had recently, where he had a little bubble of some kind of infection just growing right on the white of his eye, and it started going towards the area, towards the pupil, where you just don't want to mess with that, right? So I gave him some anti-infection formula internally, because it's also important if you're treating any kind of infection to do something internally, and then to use an external application of sorts. And if you have to boost things up, well, that's how you do it with the eyes, is you can boost it with the colloidal silver. So there you go. That's how you do eye washes. All right, for quarantine basics, which is a class that I have taught at the School of Health Freedom, people have asked me, well, you know, if there's pandemics, if there's just illnesses going around, even if just one person in the house has something, and I want to make sure that the rest of the people in the house don't get it, how many families out there have one child that comes home with something and then everybody gets it, right? It's better to be on the preventative side, on the and this is where you use quarantine basics to super flush, to super wash, to super clean everything that you possibly can. One of the things is the eye wash that we're talking about, or using the eye drops, is probably more ideal for a family situation. So what would you do? You just, even if they didn't have an infection, if pink eye is going around the neighborhood, just give your kids, you know, and the others in the family, give them some eye drops every day. Totally preventative. It's amazing how much money you can save on doing these preventative things. If there are nasal issues that are going on, this happens to be a nasal spray, and so it's one of those things where you can wash with this. And if you're to wash that every day, let's say somebody in the household has a sinus infection, you go, oh, I don't think I want that. Because a lot of times that's strep, and then it kind of develops down. It can go into a throat infection as well. It's a really good idea to just keep that nose clean, and you can do it preventatively with things like this. Did you also know, if you have old bottles like this, you can take them apart and reuse them, and just put some of your solution in there.